Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled to be your grammar coach today. We are going to be unlocking the secrets of English fluency by beating each linguistic level one by one. If you've ever felt completely tripped up by tricky words like who, whom, or which, or you're just sitting there wondering where exactly to put those pesky commas, you are in the exact right place. We are going to tackle some of the absolute most common mysteries in the English language together. Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We've got 5 sections to beat today. Section 1 is questions and ownership. Section 2 is mastering relative clauses. Then Section 3 is the crucial comma rule, followed by Section 4, the invisible pronoun trick, and finally Section 5, who versus whom. All right, level 1, questions and ownership. Think of this as unlocking your basic inventory items. Before we can build those really complex, beautiful sentences, we've got to master how we ask questions and claim ownership over the things around us. So let's start with interrogative determiners. Now, please don't let that fancy term intimidate you, right? It literally just means question words that are stuck right onto a noun. It's a super simple idea. Just think about the questions you ask every single day, like, what time is it? Or which route is faster? Notice how the question word is glued directly to the noun it's actually asking about. Now, what's really fascinating here is how the word whose actually changes jobs depending on where you put it. It goes from a determiner to a standalone pronoun. So when you ask, whose umbrella is this? Whose is a determiner because it's attached to the noun umbrella. But if you just hold up the umbrella to the room and ask, whose is this? Well, whose is suddenly acting as an interrogative pronoun, standing all on its own. And hey, while we're on the topic of ownership, here is your complete inventory of possessive determiners. These words always come right before a noun to show who something belongs to, like my phone or their homework. But notice the absolutely crucial trap here. The word it's showing possession never, ever takes an apostrophe. If you write it', you are literally saying it is. So if a dog is licking its paws, there is absolutely no apostrophe. Moving right along to level 2, mastering relative clauses. This is where we take those basic tools and start combining them. It's honestly one of the most powerful ways to add rich detail to your speech and sound incredibly fluent. Think of these clauses as your in-game crafting system. Instead of speaking in short, choppy sentences like, I met a man, his dog won a prize, relative clauses let you stitch these simple ideas together into much more advanced structures. They use pronouns like who, which, or that to basically build a bridge between your ideas. Go ahead and test yourself on this quote. Listen to how who lives next door acts as the perfect bridge to define exactly which woman we mean. Because without that relative clause, you'd just be saying, the woman is a doctor, leaving us all wondering, wait, which woman? The clause gives us that essential detail. So the crucial point here is making sure you choose the right tool for the job. You're going to want to use who or that when you're talking about people, but you absolutely must swap to which or that when you're talking about things. For example, the book which is on the table, or the book that I read. Oh, and a quick pro tip. That is actually often preferred after words like all, every, or superlatives. I mean, think about how natural it sounds to say, it's the best movie that I've ever seen. All right, level 3, the crucial comma rule. Welcome to the level where we have to navigate the tricky traps of punctuation and pauses. This is where a ton of people get stuck, but we're going to clear it up for you right now. This is kind of like finding an essential puzzle piece versus just discovering some extra bonus treasure. Defining clauses are totally essential. They tell us exactly which person or thing we are talking about, and they need absolutely 0 commas. Non-defining clauses, on the other hand, just add extra, non-essential bonus information, and because we already know who or what is being referred to, this extra info gets fenced in by commas. You can literally hear the difference when you speak. There are these slight, natural pauses where those commas are placed. Listen to how I say it. My brother Jim, pause, who lives in London, pause, is a doctor. See? We already know who Jim is. The fact that he lives in London is just extra flavor, so it gets surrounded by commas and those natural spoken pauses. But beware of this super common trap in everyday English. If you've got commas around the clause, the word that is completely locked out. You cannot say, my boss, that is from Italy, loves coffee. It's strictly forbidden. In these non-defining clauses with commas, you absolutely must use who for people or which for things. No exception. Okay, level 4, the invisible pronoun trick. Let's see how all of this builds into this amazing shortcut for sounding completely natural when you speak. We are going to learn how to make pronouns disappear. Did you know you can actually make pronouns invisible? It's true. Just follow these 3 steps. This is a massive trick for sounding more like a native speaker. But remember the golden rule in step 3. You can only drop the pronoun, whether it's who, which, or that, if it is the object receiving the action. If it's the subject actually doing the action, well, it has to stay visible. Let's actually look at this in action. See how we can completely drop the word that in the first sentence to just casually say, the dress she bought is beautiful. We can totally do this because she is the subject doing the buying, that is just the object. But look at that second sentence. We have to keep who in I like people who are kind because who is the actual subject for the verb are. You absolutely cannot remove it. And here we are, level 5, who versus whom. You guys, you've made it to the final boss of English grammar. This is the topic everybody sweats about, but take a deep breath. I am going to give you the ultimate cheat code to beat it. Seriously, everyone worries about this matchup. We are constantly second-guessing when to use who versus whom, especially when we're comparing an everyday phrase like, who did you talk to, with that super formal, to whom did you speak? Well, today, we are going to decode exactly when and why to use these two forms. The breakdown is remarkably simple once you see it. Who is used as the subject of a verb. It is the person doing the action, like who loves you. Whom, on the other hand, is the object. It's on the receiving end of the action, or it comes immediately after prepositions like to or with. Think, with whom did you go? Okay, get ready for the ultimate cheat code. This is the famous M trick. If you are ever unsure, try answering your own question. If you can answer the question with he, you should use who. But if you naturally answer the question with him, you just match the M at the end of the word and use whom. Who goes with he, and whom goes with him. It is honestly brilliant. But think about how this actually sounds out in the real world. In modern, everyday English, who is often just used for both situations. The first phrase here is highly formal, making it perfect for professional writing. But the second phrase, that's your informal, everyday speech where we just use who and let the preposition to dangle right at the end of the sentence. They're both good to know, just depends on your setting. Now, if you want to sound incredibly advanced, especially when you're writing, try combining quantifiers with these boss-level words. You can use phrases like all of whom, most of which, or none of which to create these really elegant, non-defining clauses. For example, you could write, she has 3 brothers, all of whom are engineers, or he tried on 5 shirts, none of which fit him. It just flows beautifully. Let's lock all these items into your inventory with one final cheat sheet. Remember, use whose to replace words like his or her to show possession. Use where when you're talking about places. Use which, not just for things, but also to refer back to a whole idea, like saying she passed her exam, which surprised everyone. And of course, keep who and whom strictly reserved for people. You have officially beaten the final boss of interrogatives, pronouns, and relative clauses. You've got an incredible set of tools now to make your English sound more detailed, fluent, and totally natural. So take these tools out into the real world. Practice listening for those pauses around commas. But here is a question to leave you with. Now that you've mastered the rules, when is it okay to intentionally break them for style? Thanks for exploring this explainer with me, and keep questioning your words.